My husband's ex left him because of his dad's advances towards her. I, 30 female, have been married to my husband, 32 male, for 2 years now. Everything's been great for the most part. There's one issue that's been eating at me. His dad. From the beginning, my father-in-law has always been a little bit too friendly. Compliments that felt off, lingering looks, and the occasional inappropriate joke. I brushed it off at first, thinking maybe I was reading too much into it, maybe it's just his personality, maybe he's very playful. Recently, his comments have crossed the line into outright flirting, and it makes me super uncomfortable. I brought it up to my husband, hoping he'd take it seriously. Instead, he laughed and just said that's how his dad is and he doesn't mean anything by it, he's just a jokey character. I was stunned. I told him it wasn't funny, I felt disrespected, but he brushed it off again. A few weeks later, I was talking to my sister-in-law, which is my husband's brother's wife, and I mentioned how weird our father-in-law was acting towards me. That's when she told me an absolute bombshell. My husband's ex left him because of his dad's advances towards her. And when she raised the subject with her husband, my now husband, he laughed it off. He did nothing to stop it. And it got so bad that she left. He left her whole relationship. Your dad is coming on to your wife to the point of her feeling uncomfortable, and you think it's a joke. I was furious. I felt like this wasn't just about me now, it's clearly a pattern. And my husband knows it, so I called him out. I told him everything that my sister-in-law had told me, and he denied it all at first, but his reaction made it so clear that what I was saying was true. Word got back to my sister-in-law that I had spilled what she told me. She's now furious with me, as it's now caused tension in her marriage. She's saying I betrayed her trust by sharing something so sensitive, but I thought as it's happening to me, I had a right to share what I now knew. So now I'm stuck in this mess. My father-in-law is still being a creep. My husband still isn't taking any of it seriously. My sister-in-law is refusing to speak to me. And I now feel like the bad guy. So am I the asshole for exposing what my sister-in-law told me, or did I have a right to say? We have an update for the inappropriate father-in-law story. And it's not what I expected. The lady who originally wrote in to me, she sent me an update this morning, and it only happened last night. So we are pretty much getting this in real time. With the information that she had found out from her sister-in-law, she couldn't leave it at that. She had to dig a little bit deeper. I would have done the same. She contacts the ex-wife. She sends her a Facebook message and asks if they can chat. Ex-wife is hesitant and doesn't want to, until our lovely lady tells her what it's about and tells her about the father-in-law and how weird he's been acting. At this point, the ex-wife agrees to a phone call. So they have this phone call. During this phone call, they realise that a lot of the same things are happening for our lady that did happen for the ex-wife. Little things that you feel like you can't say too much about because he can come back and say it was a joke, it was nothing, and then you're the one who's made a big deal out of something and you look stupid. So it's awkward. There was a lot of the same things going on until she got to the tipping point that made her end her marriage because something so bad happened. And I'm about to tell you exactly what that was. The whole family were on holiday. Side note, there is no mother-in-law. I don't have any other information other than that. So I don't know if it's just the mum and dad aren't together, if she's no longer with us. I don't know. But I do know the father-in-law is on his own. Single man. So when the ex-wife was married to him, they all went on a big family holiday. During this family holiday, his advances seem to have picked up a little bit. Seemed to be a little bit more full on, a little bit more obvious. But she still felt uncomfortable to address it to the father-in-law. She addressed every single thing that happened to her husband, who kept laughing it off, saying it's not a big deal, blah, blah, blah. Then get to this one particular morning where the ex-wife was having a lay-in. They're still on holiday. They're all sharing one big house, by the way. She's having a lay-in, and she wakes up to who she thinks is her husband, back in bed, spooning her, groping her. Obviously, she doesn't mind because she thinks it's her husband. She rolls over for a little bit of how's your father, and she discovers it's her father-in-law. laying in bed with her, spooning her and groping her. She got him out of the bedroom as quick as she could, called her husband up to the bedroom. She confronted her husband about it. She wanted him to go and speak to his dad. I agree. I think that is exactly what should have happened. Actually, I think she should have packed her bags and left straight away. But barring that, I think that's exactly what should have happened. He should have spoke to his dad. He didn't. He said to the ex-wife that that's how his dad jokes around, and that if she makes something of this, she's going to make the rest of the family holiday very awkward. So she didn't say anything. And she spent the rest of that holiday avoiding her father-in-law for one, and stewing on the fact that her husband is not taking this seriously. How can he see it as such a joke? So our lovely lady hasn't told her husband all of this new information that she's found out. Apparently she's going to confront him tonight. Hopefully we get an update. If I get one, you get one. I may have the update to end all updates. If you haven't watched the previous 2 videos on the inappropriate father-in-law, you must go watch them now. This story found a back route and took a whole different direction. I go home with all of this new information that I've got from my husband's ex-wife. Obviously, I cannot sit on this. I have to confront him straight away. So as soon as he walks through that door, I do. I tell him everything I know, everything I found out. And I reiterate everything that I have had to deal with. At first, he tried to tell me that his ex-wife is jealous and bitter, and she's trying to throw a spanner in the works. I reminded him it was actually me who went to her. This guy then tried to turn it around on me. I betrayed his trust. I went behind his back and spoke to somebody who's no longer in his life. But this time, I had the facts. I knew the truth. So I kept pushing and pushing and pushing until he broke. And boy, did he break. He fell apart, crying in front of me, and admitted everything. His dad has been funding his life, and in return, he never questions his dad's behaviour. He never questions anything. He's just happy to sit back and receive his dad's money. When we first got together, he told me he'd inherited a big chunk of money, and that's how he started his business. This guy was living a very lavish lifestyle for a new business owner. But I believed him. It was inheritance money. Except it wasn't. There was never any inheritance money. His dad has been funding his life since day dot. And that money has been so important to him. As long as he's still receiving it, he's happy to forsake his wife. As soon as I heard these words leave my loving husband's mouth, that was it. I knew there was no going back. I packed my bags and I left the same night. That is exactly what I would have done too. Thank God I got to the bottom of everything and I'm not still stuck in this weird, creepy relationship. I doubt there'll be any updates from me now, as I don't plan on ever going back. But I do like to end a story on a happy note. I want to let you all know that his ex-wife is fucking great. We're meeting up for dinner next week and I plan on divulging all of the new information to her about why our ex-husband allows his dad to do the things he does. I can only imagine the laughs we are going to have over a bottle of wine. That really was a great ending.